Welcome to IAP Fuel Stop. I am Zoe Cheng, Commercial Director of Ekimetrics, and today we're going to dive into the topic on the metrics you must know for marketing mix modeling and why CMOs should do MMM. I'm not the measurement expert, so I have the honor to have Mike Camplejohn, who is the MMO Leader at Ekimetrics APAC, who is going to share with us a few tips of the metrics that we should look out for. And following that, we'll also have the pleasure to have Bernice Fong, Director, Brand and Content Strategy of AXA Asia, to share with us her thoughts on why all CMOs should do MMM. Stay with us till the end. Over to you, Mike.
Great, thank you, Zoe. Okay, so looking at the metrics that CMOs need to know. So what we often find is that marketers are often very comfortable working with metrics based on execution of media activity, such as things like impressions that represent the amount of exposure that a media channel has to an audience, clicks, the number of interactions audience are having with those comms, engagement metrics, things like view time, completed views, dwell time, things that let you understand how consumers and users are engaging with the content, and also other actions such as visiting the websites, signing up to mailing lists, making inquiries on site, and so on. But these metrics are reporting metrics, and they're important, and they help you understand what the audience have been exposed to, but not so much the cause and effect of those actions on business outcomes. So when we're only looking at just this side of things, we're really only getting half of the picture. And without incorporating metrics around measurement into a marketer's way of working, the full impact of media will never be comprehensively understood, and planning decisions will potentially be suboptimal. So some examples, these are not all of them, but some key examples of media metrics, measurement metrics are things like uplift, understanding what the incremental sales that can be attributable to each individual media channel are, both online and offline. Things like effectiveness, what are the number of sales, the incremental sales that each media metric drives? So, for every GRP, every 1,000 impressions, every 100 clicks, so on, what is that actually driving in terms of sales? Cost per sale, so the cost of driving one sale through media activity, and ROI, so return on investment. The amount of revenue driven for each dollar spent across the entire media mix. So what are the metrics? These are the metrics to measure, and we want to understand where we can measure them as well. So as I mentioned previously, a couple of these media measurement metrics that we have, what we want to do is we want to kind of look at the equation of how do we actually derive each of these. So if we just have a look at the four from before, so starting with incremental uplift, what we're really trying to understand is, what are the number of sales generated by a specific given media channel, and if we divide that and understand what that is in terms of total sales, we get the percentage of incremental uplift. When we look at effectiveness, again, we need to isolate what are the sales generated by each media channel, and then put that in relation to the level of activation, the number of GRPs, the number of impressions that have been executed that drove those sales. Cost per sale as well. We need to know the sales generated and the media activation cost, and the combination of these two allows us to know how much one sale costs to get. And then again, ROI, we look at the revenue generated by each media channel and the media activation cost to understand how many dollars do we get back for every dollar spent on media. So what you can see here is that these metrics that are in yellow, we need to find a way to actually measure those, and this comes from implementing MMM. MMM provides the analytical approach that makes it possible to quantify these KPIs, and we'll talk about this in a minute. What is also important to point out is that the metrics need to be measured, and we need to understand the role of media across the customer journey and how it is driving change in consumers and users, from awareness to consideration, inquiry, purchase, and into loyalty. And having a holistic approach to measurement is fundamental for making informed decisions, taking into consideration the comparative strength of all media channels across the funnel. So how do we actually do that? How do we actually do the measurement? So as mentioned, and the whole purpose of this video is to focus on MMM as a means to do that. So marketing mix modeling is a holistic approach to capture all drivers. So MMM is really a statistical technique that allows us to understand what drives changes in business outcomes by looking at the historical pattern between the outcome itself and key business drivers and isolating those trends. So in reality, there are lots of different factors that are influencing customer behavior. So this analysis really tries to take into consideration all the factors that can be represented with data. These factors include controllable factors such as your media and your marketing, but also uncontrollable factors such as macroeconomic conditions, competitor actions, and so on. And by really tying all of these elements together, MMM provides the foundation for holistic media measurement, including channels that are typically not tracked linearly, such as TV, radio, out of home. And this foundation, this MMM engine, is the thing that can power forward-looking strategic media planning, giving marketers the capability to simulate and optimize marketing plans based on the performance of these channels across the KPIs that we've just mentioned, taking into consideration the full impact that they have across the customer journey. So that, in a nutshell, is the key metrics that you should know, and again, the fundamental basis as to why CMOs see MMM, marketing mix modeling, as a critical part of their measurement program to understand how they can take actionable decisions moving forward with their marketing plans.
Thank you, Michael, for your expertise on this.